Hello, welcome to the Drive Fitness Podcast. In today's episode, I sit down with a friend of mine, Alex Gharbo, to talk about her fitness journey. We discuss her passions such as biking, running, and swimming. Alex even attended the Swimming Junior Olympics in high school. Alex also has an autoimmune disorder called Juvenile Rheumatoid Arthritis, and we discuss how that impacted her fitness journey and how she was able to overcome it and stay active. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine, Frank Morazzo, who helped make the theme song for the Drive Fitness Podcast. If you're interested in having Frank make you a theme song, reach out to him at Philosopher Franco on Instagram, or you can reach out to me so I can put you in contact with him. All right, now here is episode 3 with our guest, Alex Gharbo. Hello, my name is Tom Driver, and welcome to the third episode of the Drive Fitness Podcast. Today, my guest is Alex Gharbo. Hi, how are you, Alex?
Good, how are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm good, yeah, thanks for coming on today. How's the quarantine been treating you?
Not great.
Oh, yeah, me either. You've been away at your parents', right, for a couple weeks now?
Yeah. Luckily, they have a lot of room to work out outside or go for runs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's amazing, yeah. It's been pretty hard to work out here on my end. Had to do a lot of cardio during this time period.
Right.
Which is one of the reasons I brought you on today, right?
Yeah.
I do a lot of strength training for those of you who don't know, and I'm trying to learn a lot more about cardio. So I brought Alex on, and we're going to talk a little bit about her fitness journey.
Okay.
At one point you mentioned that one of the biggest challenges with you and your fitness journey has been something called JRA. Can you kind of explain what that is for the viewers and how you kind of overcame that struggle with it?
Yes. So when I was 7, I was diagnosed with Juvenile Rheumatoid Arthritis.
Okay.
So basically, my immune system attacks all of my joints instead of fighting off what your immune system was supposed to fight off.
Mm-hmm.
This was a big reason why I started swimming, because swimming is a lot easier on your joints.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of other implications with RA that made being physically active pretty tough.
Mm-hmm.
When I go through a flare-up, my joints swell with fluid to the point
Mm-hmm.
where I can't move them, and I've had both my elbows locked in 90-degree angles before. There was a point I couldn't walk up and down the stairs. The medications of RA are also really, one of them, methotrexate, is a low dose of chemotherapy that I had to give myself once a week. And so basically you have to give yourself a shot and then decide which day of the week you want to feel really sick.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously the day after you take it, you don't want to do anything because you're so nauseous. So I would say that definitely has a part in why I've tried so many different, like biking, running, swimming, weightlifting. I like to switch it up so that I don't put too much pressure on really anything.
And so swimming was one of the easiest on your joints, right? And did it actually help at all? Like, did it kind of, I feel like that motion is a lot different than running or something that puts pressure on it, or did it just not hurt as bad?
There were times that it did. So the thing with arthritis is it can keep you from being active, but you should be active.
Yeah.
So really any movement you can get is going to be better off, but then sometimes you're incapacitated and you can't.
Okay.
But yeah, swimming, because I remember trying soccer, gymnastics, whatever, I just physically couldn't do it. You're supposed to grow out of RA. And when you're a teenager, but I'm 25 now.
Has it gotten better over time?
I still have to take care of myself and be really diligent about even mental health, because when I get really stressed, when I started my first semester of grad school, I just had a shutdown, and I had my first big flare-up in probably 10 years.
Okay.
That impacted working out because it was the last on the list to do.
But in general, since you were a kid, it's gotten a little bit better, and that's allowed you to do things more like running and stuff.
Right.
But it's still something you struggle with, and it's probably, is that one of the reasons you don't play contact sports, right? Is that more dangerous? 'Cause
Yeah, I'm also just not that competitive.
Okay. Well, I guess that works out a little bit
Yeah,
then.
I'm competitive with myself, but really not
Mm-hmm.
in any other way.
Okay, well, thanks for sharing that. That seems like a challenging journey it's been, and I'm glad that you were able to stay, fitness focused for most of your life. I'm sure a lot of people would not be able to face that challenge, right? And get to that competitive level of swimming.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty inspirational on its own. You seem like you're getting pretty competitive with the swimming, right? I think you told me
yeah, so
Junior Olympics or something like
that? JO's is in Florida, Orlando, Florida, and it's every year and you have to qualify for it. It's pretty competitive and you have to make, if I remember correctly, you have to make like 4 times in different events to even be able to go.
What was it like training for that kind of high-level competitive swimming event?
Really hard.
Like how many days a week?
When I got a little bit older, we would do 2-a-days some days. So 2 days a week, we would wake up at 4 a.m., do weightlifting. Yeah. And then we would go to school. And then after school, we would do, we would swim for like 3 hours. And then we would do like a dry land circuit. The only days we didn't practice were Sundays.
Okay. So what kind of weight training do they have you do to prepare for a swimming event?
It really depends on where you are in the season.
Okay.
So if you have, like later in the season when you have a big event, you don't want to be doing that too much. Like we would taper. So we would wear resistance clothing. Like we would put leggings on underneath our swimsuits and swim with that.
Wow.
But we would do a lot less so that when you get to your competition, you just glide.
Okay.
Because you're used to working even harder.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's something you would do like in the pool, right?
Yeah.
But then outside the pool, what kind of trainings did they have you do?
Yeah. In the mornings was a lot of weightlifting. We would do like circuit training.
Okay.
Not too heavy of weight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, like, if you've ever seen swimmers' bodies, they're pretty lean. They're not.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that swimmers did too much weightlifting outside of just swimming. Yeah. I thought that would be enough,
Yeah, no.
Training. No, not at all, I guess. They didn't make you like lift weights until you were at a certain level, though, I assume, right?
Yeah, you can't really force middle schoolers to lift a ton of weights.
That's true.
I guess you could, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what it's like anymore. Maybe they've gotten to that point.
Yeah, man, I hope not. But I can imagine, man. Some of these Northern Virginia parents are pretty serious about their sports.
Yeah, they are.
So what was your best stroke then?
Breaststroke.
Breaststroke. That's my favorite one, too.
Yeah.
But I can't even barely do a butterfly, so,
Yeah.
It's almost my best stroke by default, but...
I wasn't much of a butterflyer either.
Yeah, that's hard, man. You got to get your whole upper body out of the water.
Yeah. So that's when strength training would come in.
Mm-hmm. So then at a certain point you had to have knee surgery, right?
Yes, that was in high school.
Okay. Yeah, you were telling me about that the other day. What happened with your knees?
I had just overused them too much, and the ligaments in it, the meniscus were torn in both of them.
The ligaments just wore down after years of swimming?
Mm-hmm.
What was the recovery time like on that?
I got both knees done, but it wasn't like an ACL tear or anything like that. It sounds weird because I just got some of the ligaments shaved and brought back because they were so torn, but swimming never really felt the same.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't feel right to do breaststroke anymore, which kicking is a huge part of breaststroke. I would say it took me about a month, but then I just kept working at it, and then I eventually lost interest because I wasn't performing how I wanted to.
Yeah, I hit the same wall with soccer at a certain point.
Yeah.
Once you get up to like this high level of competitiveness, now when I play pickup soccer, it's like I enjoy it, but I'm like, wow, I used to be playing kind of, some D1, type of games, and now it just feels different, right?
It does, yeah.
It's
I took a break and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
that was hard. I don't think I want to keep doing it.
I feel you. You got really into running, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did that kind of start before your knee surgery, or was this your new endeavor afterwards?
So I actually went through this thing when I quit swimming where I refused to work out at all.
Okay.
I was so over it. I didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, you burnt out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started working out again. I was living with my best friend, and she was a Mason cheerleader. And we got really into fitness together because we both were kind of burnt out and didn't really want to do anything. So we started doing partner workouts together.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. That's pretty easy to keep you accountable, right, when you start working out with a friend.
Yes.
And then you started competing in maybe some 5Ks together, or?
Our first, we did the Cupid Undie Run, which is not really anything. I am not a very competitive person, so I do want to do the Army 10 miler and a Tough Mudder, but I am very hesitant to sign up for things like that just because I like to do things on my own, if that makes sense. Like,
no, I'm the same way. Like, I don't feel like I need like an organized run, right, to get in shape.
Right.
But at the same time, it's makes it much easier to like set a goal and a like a end date too, right? I can say I'm gonna run 10 miles, but you know, if I don't put a date on the calendar, it might take me 3 times as long as if there was some organized event. But at the same time, I'm with you, right?
I guess it's also the commitment thing.
Yeah.
What if I don't want to run 10 miles that day?
I totally feel you. I like to do things on my own terms too.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice then for someone who maybe is in that off moment where they've gone through a surgery or they've gone through a period of just they're not working out, and how to get back on the horse, and what kind of helped you? It seemed like partner workouts did the trick, right?
Yeah. I would say I've also learned that you don't have to work out every day. You don't have to feel bad about not being active one day. Like, when I started working out again, I got to the point where I was on my own working out 2 times a day for hours. Yeah. And if I didn't do X amount of work that day, then I'd basically talk shit to myself. So I think there needs to be a balance, definitely. Like, you don't need to work out every day. Just focus on being healthy. Don't focus on trying to get a certain body image. Or it's healthy to have goals like running 10 miles, but it's not healthy to be like, I need to burn this many calories, because that's how you're going to burn yourself out. If you're just doing it for the wrong reasons.
No, I think there's 2 really good points to not dive in head first with like an intense workout regimen if you've been off. One is because you'll burn out and you won't want to do it, right? But another one that I've experienced is like injury. Yeah. I've totally like had a couple months off because of I injured something, and then I tried to go, you know, back in 5-6 days a week, and then I just re-injured it worse than it was before.
Yeah. You don't give your body the time to heal.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever experienced a runner's high?
Yes.
What is that like?
I remember the first time I got a runner's high, and I had never known like that was an actual thing. I just thought people were crazy.
Yeah, me too.
Because I really used to hate running, and now I love it. But it goes from being really tough when you're running, and then suddenly you're just, okay.
Yeah.
I could run 2 or 5 more miles. Who knows?
Yeah.
And
I've only experienced it one time, but I think it was around like mile 5 or 6, whatever I was doing. And it was just like, I went from like, oh my God, I'm going to die, to like,
I'm feeling
good. I could do 5 more miles. Like, my whole body just felt like jelly, you know?
Yeah,
and
stop me now.
Yeah. So recently you told me that you are training for a triathlon. Is that correct?
I've always had the idea that at some point in my life I want to get a triathlon done. Okay. I wouldn't say I'm anywhere near doing it right now. I recently picked up biking. Okay. So once I get a handle on that, I need to train for biking, swimming, and running before any of that. But it has been something that I eventually want to get done.
Okay. So you feel pretty comfortable with the swimming and the running, and you've just bought a bike, right? And started training for that. Yeah. That's pretty exciting. I'll have to check back in once you're getting closer to that triathlon date.
It might be a while.
Yeah. No pressure. So things like swimming and running and biking, do you think that there's any like big technological improvements that we can make in the next couple decades that'll make those activities much more exciting?
From someone who used to spend hours underwater swimming, you're just in your head the whole time. You have nothing to do but think, which can be really nice, but I remember we would have practice sometimes the same time as synchronized swimmers, and they would play music underwater. It wasn't the best music, but at least it was something. Yeah. So I think, like, I don't know how it would fit under a cap or whatever, but
So you think some sort of water-resistant
yeah.
headphones?
Yeah.
Or would they play like water throughout the pool, like so everyone could hear it?
Yes. It was like
That's
underwater
crazy.
speakers.
Whoa.
I can't even imagine how loud they would be if it was out of water.
Did it sound like? Have you heard it? Has it sound completely different, or is
I haven't heard it out of water. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. The whole team could be kind of swimming to the same kind of beat, you know?
Yeah.
Mm.
I liked those days the most.
Okay, when the synchronized swimmers were nearby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had something else to do, but think.
Yeah. No, I feel like we definitely could invent some sort of water-resistant headphones.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think you should use them when you compete, you know?
Oh, no.
It might be a little distracting. But yeah, I mean, if you're practicing, you know, 6 days a week, you know, just in silence.
Yeah.
Wait, a random side question. Do you think that was kind of meditational?
I remember when I first get in the pool, it would be really nice, like a little bit of time without anybody else talking to me or anything. But then, you know, like hours go by and all you have to do is like maybe think about how you had a bad day.
Yeah.
So like a little bit of time, yes, meditational, but after that, then you're stuck with your own thoughts.
So I wonder if we could build some sort of like augmented reality goggles that you wear and it projects some sort of like TV show or something. Does that sound dangerous or do you think it would work out?
It might be a little dangerous.
If you're like swimming and like you're watching The Office on the bottom of the pool as you go by.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah.
Would that
graphics or something at the bottom of the pool? I don't know.
Yeah, okay, so some sort of like visualizer that's just like not boring.
Yeah, it's just not a black line.
Okay. I don't know, anything else you want to add just about kind of your fitness journey or technology?
I hope that gym's open soon.
Me too. Let's get those gyms open soon. And yeah, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciated it.
Thank you.
Yep, have a great day.